Okay, kid, it's been a couple of hours. I had to stop my video because I had to go to the bathroom. I had to go to the bathroom, and then just everything snowballed. I had to head back to work. I had too many excuses. Let's get this finished. So we sketched out the armor, right? Look at that, the little frilly things around the collar and stuff. But we're on the armor layer. No, we're on the bones layer. Boop, that's the bottom. That's the top. We'll go here, right? And then we're gonna do the armor. So we're gonna draw the armor going up into there, right? Just like I said. And it's going to have the little epaulets or whatever the hell they are. Nope. Shoop. Just like that. Go like this. Like that. Like that. So that goes to there. That goes to there. I should probably lower the Skeletor layer so I can see what I'm doing, because if I don't close shapes, what happens is when you go to flood them or fill them with black, they wind up just going all over the place. They fill the page because it just assumes, oh, okay, so you just want to flood everything, I guess. Okay, so we do this. Go to clear. Circle. Circle. Dot. Dot. Now Skeletor has a coolie shot. Alright, trim this up. Alright. Bring this down a little bit so that we pull out. So we don't want to. The bone part of the armor sits over the leather with the little studs in it. So we're going to do that. Right. And we're going to clean up this stuff, so that when you draw in the rest of the armor, it's going to have its place. You know, it's going to be one on top of the other. Remember, we're trying to create a 3D environment with the drawing stuff. When you draw, you try to keep it in its place. Let's see. Is the characters? Pull the characters out. There we go. So we're on the armor. Here we go. See that? Then we're going to hop down to Skeletor's lair and pull out the stuff that is overlapping. It's probably a good idea to pull that out. Under the cloak, so you shouldn't really see it there. And go to characters, turn that on, go up. Armor goes up to 100. It's on bones. How about if we meaning I, finish up this armor. See. Nope. Turn off. Oh, wait, we got this thing in the middle, right? Nope. Nope. That's why warming up is so very important, because the muscle memory on making a circle like that comes in handy. And it's an exercise, really. You should do it before you draw. So you go down here, do this. Muscle memory comes in. Sometimes it's horrible, sometimes it's just right. Sometimes back. Sometimes it works out. You can just use it. Barely. Bones. Because they're supposed to be under the bits of armor. We go to armor. Clean up the stuff that looks janky. Now, I believe I've said this before, but if I haven't said it before, I think I need to say it now. Drawing digitally doesn't seem like it is the same as drawing traditionally. And in some cases, it's really not. However, drawing traditionally requires a bunch of technique and different I'm drawing instead of erasing. It requires different techniques and different modes of thinking, but they come in very handy when it comes to drawing digitally. Now, there's a lot more patience and there's a lot more slow rhythm when it comes to. There's a lot more of a slow rhythm when it comes to drawing traditionally as opposed to drawing digitally. Now, the reason why I say that is because when you're drawing traditionally, let's say we're doing this with inks. You draw with a pen, you draw with a brush, you draw with sometimes a toothbrush, sometimes even your finger. You have to wait for that stuff to dry before you can take a look at it and clean it up. And granted, you would clean it up. You would do modified versions of what we're doing here, like you would use whiteout instead of an eraser, or even a razor blade, or you would just use a whole host of different techniques, but the end result would be the same. And the reason why I say this is because working traditionally calms people down. Or it does me. It calms me down. Makes me feel a little better sometimes. That's a brush. I didn't want that. I wanted the pen. There we go. Ah, son of a bitch. There we go. Moving slow just becomes like a meditation thing, you know. Again, it calms you down. It centers you. It allows you to move slower and think better. And muscle memory brings that back. And muscle memory allows you to. Oh, I'm not on armor. And the muscle memory allows you to use it at a higher rate of speed when you're working digitally. Now, it's as I say. Basics mean a lot. You gotta make sure you're taken care of and learning the basics. Oh, that fuzziness. You want it to be clean. Now, I don't think that this is the original Skeletor armor. Take a look at, let me turn my phone down here. Take a look at the Skeletor reference we have. Okay, so it's got some in the middle. It's really kind of weird. I think it's almost a version of what He-Man has on his chest. Which makes sense, because Skeletor is supposed to be the exact opposite of He-Man, I guess. I don't like the way that looks. Just don't like it. So, we're gonna do some stuff like this. We're gonna add some textures and some character in here to the inside this little tile. Make it look like some old magic stuff or whatever. There we go. One of the best things about doing that is that we can cover that up when it comes time to do the colors. Add the flats as it were. Clouds at 60, bring them up to 100. Bones at 9, we gotta bring those up. I don't even think I need to, I can delete that and nothing's gonna be there, right? No, I was on the wrong layer. Okay. What's this layer 1 copy? Where are we? Where it is. Alright, now I need to see what it is. Clouds, Bones, Skeletor, Skitties, Papyrus, and that's my signature. Is that what it is? Okay. That's what it is. Alright, so this is what I mean when I tell you that you should always sign it. You always label your layers, because you saw the issue that I just went through where I was like, what is this? That layer 1 copy or whatever it was, it's just That's the default name that Clip Studio gives it, and it doesn't. We can pull this guide out because we're done with that. Now, that layer 1 copy is what Clip Studio defaults it to. It's just a name. I guess I copied it from the original document, the digital document with my signature, copied, pasted it here, so it comes in as a layer 1 copy. Now, that's when I brought it in, I should have named it signature, but I did not. So what I'm doing here is merging down. So Skeletors at 43 or whatever percent, we bring them in at 100. We merge bones, which are on the chest. Take a look. Call those out. Sketties. That characters layer is where we were doing our sketching. We pull that out. The backgrounds are at 55%. We pull that out. Actually, no, let's keep it at 55 because we did not clean up Skeletor's shoulder. So we go into the mask and we pull this, right? And give it a little bit of a haze around it, like a little. That line that I told you distinguishes it from the background. It's visible, but it's barely visible. And you'll see when the color comes in that it subconsciously like makes you focus on it a little more, but at the same time it doesn't detract from the background. It's not such a big deal that you're like, why? Your brain is trying to wrap itself around why there's a line around Skeletor. It's just there. Ooh, what did I do? Oh no. Okay. You see this here? Look at the mess I made. That is for the Staff of Chaos, and I merged it with the inks on Skeletor. But that's easily fixed, my man. We come in with brush. Do this, and then we just go like this. And then we go here. Now, you and I know that I made a mistake, and I fixed it. And anybody who watches this video is going to know that I made a mistake and we fixed it. But beyond that, not too many people are going to see it and go, hey, that's screwed up. Okay. See? Let's zoom back. There we go. Cloak's behind the staff. Skeletor's looking pretty grimacing and pretty crazy. And we bring up the background now. And yoop. Look at that. Oh, did I turn the clouds off? Where are the clouds? I did turn the clouds off. Clouds come on. Now this folder here at the top, where we have our reference material, out of here, gone. We don't need it. What we're gonna do though, I just kicked something under my table, knocked it down. What we will do is we'll create a folder and we'll call it inks. Before we throw stuff in there, I need to check something. Okay, this layer down at the bottom called base, it's flooded with white, and I'll show you why. If you turn it off so you can't see it, all you see is the checkerboard pattern. The checkerboard pattern is like, it's the base, it's the foundation, the bedrock of the file. Picture that as being the desktop, like the actual tabletop. And they give you that pattern so you can see through it and you know that that's clear. Sometimes people do a lot of production artwork and they need to know where the clear bits are, because when you send it out to print, the machine will not print there. It'll just leave it blank. So what they do is when you create a new document, sometimes you just see this. It depends on your settings. My documents, I have set up with a base layer, which is all flooded white, so that you can see the background. You can see white. Now, everything, based on what we've been doing, is clean. Nothing overlaps anything else. Everything is just, it's good. Okay? So we go back up to this inks layer and we click on the topmost layer for inks. Actually, we can pull that clouds hold out. We grab all of this stuff. Go down to papyrus, which is at the bottom. Shift, click, grab all of them, throw them in this inks layer. Boop. Close that folder. You set this as a reference layer. You click on the lighthouse. And that means everything in that folder is now referenced. It is a reference point. Alright. Now, my boy, we are going to... Oh, snap. You know what? Something I did I should not have done. Alright. I could have gotten rid of the clouds hold, but I should not have gotten rid of the reference. You'll see why in just a moment. There, it's inks. I'll recreate the process. Maybe you'll see it and be like, oh, okay. So clouds. Shift click on papyrus. Come up, drag it into there. Let's close the folder, make it a reference folder. Now, underneath it, we are going to add a flats layer. Flats. That's flat color. Flat color. Flat color means this is just base color, and everything above it is going to have depth, highlights, lowlights, shadows, effects, any sort of blurs, any sort of tones or gradations are going to come above that. The flats layer is where it all begins, and that stuff comes from the reference layer. So let's start with Skeletor. Alright, we're going to go to that purple swatch. We're going to grab that there. And we're going to flood the hell out of his face. Now there are two ways you can do this. You can run around with your bucket tool, assuming you have the right settings. And you can just click once on an empty area and it will fill, and you hold the button down and you click drag. I'm sure you know what that is. And you can see there are some bits in there that just didn't get filled. So you just switch over to your pen, go in, make sure that those areas get cleaned. And it's important you do that, because if someone comes in behind you and adds effects after you've done the flatting and they don't see that, they're just going to go over it, and sometimes the colors won't line up depending upon how they set the layer. Could set it to multiply, could set it to screen, and if there's no color there and they're doing something on the layer above it, it's just going to look weird. It's going to look off. Your eye will draw right to it. Let's see. Back down here. Okay. That. Now let's go to a darker purple. So everything else can be just see? When you have your tools set up properly, like I was telling you at the beginning, when you have your tools set up properly, everything becomes so easy. You just have to know what you're doing. I think those are, yeah, that's supposed to be flooded. Oh, I was telling you that there are two ways to do this, right? Didn't I tell you that? There are two ways to do this. One is quick, like I'm doing. I have my bucket tool set the way I need it to. And my bucket tool is finding the edge. It's using the black inks as the edge of where it needs to fill. And it stops there. Or you could very carefully and very painstakingly use your lasso tool. And I'll do it over here. Oh man, look at that. What did I do? C, G, bucket tool, pull it out. Or you could come in very painstakingly with your lasso tool and you could flood the heck out of that. And that comes in handy where I drew that cross hatching, because cross hatching tends to turn into it's a lot of closed areas. So it's like little diamonds, one on top of the other. And if you go to use your bucket tool just gets confused. It's like the edge is where you suck. The edge is where that last area. Oh no. The edge is where that last area started. Now, see? So I filled in all that space with the lasso tool. Oh, now here's a great example of what I was just telling you about. Not worrying about that line that's right around. Yeah. See, look. You barely notice it. Pen come in. You know, another way you could do this is here I have a Copic marker set up, or it's a digital brush where the Copic, it mimics a Copic marker. Now there are times where when I'm at a convention where I will use a Copic alcohol marker. They're really great. They're expensive as all get out. I think they're like $5 or $6 for a marker, a single marker. But there's such an industry standard that you can buy refills of the ink to refill your marker. And sometimes if you're too hard on your marker, you can buy refill felt tips. Like, just pluck the tip out and put a new one in. And people love them and swear by them, and they behave in such a great fashion. They're felt tips, but they behave almost like brushes, like felt brushes, but thicker. You know what? I'll bring some with me when we go to this convention so that you can play with them, you can toy with them. Boop. Oh, that's, am I on C? I don't have the color selected. No, let's zoom out. So you see? Turn off this reference. So you see what I'm telling you about lasso versus bucket versus paintbrush. You know, all roads lead to Rome. As long as it's done and you got it done in the end, that's what matters. But remember what I told you, which is the faster you get something done, the more jobs you can get. You just get them done quicker, and your skill set gets better and higher, and people notice your artwork, and they like the quality and the speed with which you produce, and it gets you more visibility. Now that, in and of itself, can be pressuresome. Like, you can sometimes burn yourself out when you get too concerned with that. And that's what I was telling you at the beginning of the video I started today, which is that you gotta keep an eye on that. You gotta remember to stop and smell the roses. It's okay to slow down sometimes. It's alright to know your limitations, and you can't be everything to everybody. You can just try to do your best. things are moving too fast, you gotta take a breath. You gotta accept the fact that you're doing too much and things are moving too fast. And slow down. And if you have to give up on some things, like, hey, I gotta let this project go. I'm sorry, I just can't get it done in the time that I told you. Then that's the way it's gotta be, man. The most important part is you. You can't finish a project if you're not there. If you have to go away, or if you just break down and you're emotional about stuff, you can't finish the project. It's like trying to drive a car with no gas. You can't drive the car if there's no gas in it. And sometimes, if you overextend yourself, you run out of gas. You could damage the engine that way. I think that's a good euphemism. I don't know if that's... Is that something that you'd understand? Are you into cars? I don't know. But I guess that's the point of this, is me trying to teach you stuff that I know that you're interested in, so that we can bond a little more. What is that? That is beautiful. Alright, let's go in and get some skin tones for Skeletor. Now, right there is like the highlights. I'd say right here is the mid-tone, right? Kind of looks like a blue highlighter. So we'll turn that off and keep this. Let's see how this hand turns out when we use the bucket tool. Jesus. You know, suddenly Skeletor's not that creepy or scary to me. He's colored like Huckleberry Hound. And Huckleberry Hound's not that scary. He's kind of a yokel. He's just got that weird hat. That hat that people used to wear when they were on, like, election tours. I don't know. What is it, like a weird straw hat? Do dogs even wear hats? I guess they do if you put them on them. Now I'm just rambling. Here. Keep it tight there. This comes over the chin. That goes there. See all the spots, the little white spots? You want to get rid of those. You don't want them in there. You want to get rid of them where they're appropriate, you know? Where they're supposed to be. Right. I get really crazy about this stuff. About getting the white spots out, zooming in. I'm just gonna mess up a bunch of it. I don't even know why I'm even playing around here. Well, that little symbol in his belt, that's one of my favorite bands, the Aquabats. I had to add that because I couldn't, on the reference, I couldn't see what the little symbol was. I just knew it was a bat, and I'm like, oh, that's an Aquabat. That's what that's going to be. You know, I doubt anybody, if somebody does recognize it or notice it, good for them. Good for them. Boop, boop, boop. Look at this. Look at this thing you directed me to draw. once we get done with this, we're gonna move down to Papyrus. That's good enough, right? Because you're dying right now. You want to see what Papyrus is going to look like. So we got to open up this reference folder, shut off him. Is that, are we going to use that? I can't use that. That's black and white. Is that more in line? No, we got to use this one. Okay, go here. We're going to enlarge it so we can use it. We just got to be able to sample colors from it, okay? We can sample all the colors we need. That is going to go on the gloves, right? It's going to go on the gloves. I believe it's going to go on the boots. It's going to go here on his little cape. Little cape. That's so derogatory. Oh, look at your little cape. Alright, we got to shut that layer off real quick here. So we can get him under here. And we got to turn it back on. We're going to grab this cream color. Flats, we gotta fill this. Let's see, let's do the pants. Do this. Let's actually do that. So they almost look see-through. It's kind of comedic, but not so much. So grab this. Here, right across there. That goes there, there. Kind of fill it in. Take that. I feel like I'm missing some stuff here. There we are. Always check your work. Did I mention that you should always check your work? It seems meticulous and anal, but you know what? This is your print, and you want to make sure that it looks the best that it possibly can. You don't want to put it out and then you look at it and you're like, ugh. What was I thinking? I mean, you're going to wind up doing it anyway. If you're anything like me, you're going to look at it and be like, God, what the hell's wrong with me? What was I thinking? Now you'll see some of my stuff and you'll be like, that looks great. And I'll be like, that looks like crap. I urge you to not do that to yourself. Okay? The reason why you should not do that to yourself is because you should allow yourself grace. If you are hypercritical of your work, you will not grow as an artist. You will subconsciously sabotage yourself, and you will be afraid to try anything because you will think that you're not going to be able to do it. And that's not what I want for you. I don't want you to be afraid to try new things. I would like you to say to yourself, this might not go the way I want it to, but guess what? I'm going to try. As in, I don't know what the hell Papyrus looks like or who he even is, but my son wants to see a print where Papyrus fights Skeletor. So damn it, I'm going to show him what Papyrus fighting Skeletor looks like. think, I'd like to think, given the direction and given the references, it's coming out pretty good. I mean, I'd like to think that. I need my son to tell me whether or not he thinks it's coming out good. Alright, so I'm going to leave this, I'm going to save this. I am going to take a photo and send it to you in Discord. I'm going to leave this here, and then tomorrow, for part of my warm-ups, I'm going to flat out the background, and then we'll move on to adding the effects. Okay? Hope you have a great night, and I will talk to you soon.